So the Los Angeles Rams will go to the Super Bowl. Matt Stafford will play for the Lombardi Trophy. What a run this team is on. Incredible stuff. It was not a perfect game. It was not a pretty game. There were plenty of mistakes. We'll get into all of that. In fact, let's just jump into it. So first, let's start off with some of these types of plays, which are just mistakes by the Rams, quite frankly. It was the Rams beating themselves. We have seen them do this throughout the regular season, not so much in the postseason, but it did rear its ugly head here in this one. First, this play, which was the first drive of the game, you're going to see it end because Odell Beckham Jr. drops a pass that was maybe a bit behind, but still one he could have caught. This one, you're going to see again, it's just a drop pass from Cooper Kupp. Wish he did that in the Tampa Bay game. You have this one, which is a deep pass, which is also going to be dropped in the end zone. And I wanted to pause this one right here. This is going to be the interception. So basically to set it up, I mean, it's 3rd down and goal, and you see Cooper Kupp over the middle isn't exactly wide open. Maybe you can make this throw, but it's going to be tough. However, that one's going to get thrown and tipped up and intercepted. You could argue it's a bit fluky there. That did cost them 4 points. But also, listen, if you play good coverage, quarterbacks are going to try to fit it through tight windows, and sometimes that's going to end in some bad stuff happening for the offense. So, okay, maybe you want to sit here and complain about it, but at the same time, I think that this is kind of one of those situations where you make your own luck if you're the 49ers, and you make your own bad luck if you're the Los Angeles Rams. You got to get more open. If a guy was open there, well, then it doesn't matter because you were just thrown to the open guy. A tip pass wouldn't have happened. And of course, on the flip side, there were some mistakes from the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo missed some throws. This one probably the most egregious one. So especially, early on, there was some sloppy plays, right? Which is going to happen. Even great teams like the Niners and Rams, one of which is going to the Super Bowl, you're still going to see some of these sloppy plays. So this play is a great example of kind of just one of the weird, interesting things about this matchup. And we kind of saw this both ways, right? As in both games, where we saw part of the reason why the Chiefs lost to the Bengals is because they typically like to play a man coverage scheme that doesn't work too well against Cincinnati because they crush man. Well, here, the Rams like to play a lot of zone, but the issue is the 49ers crush zone. However, the aspect is when you go back and play what your opponent is bad at and you're not great at it, stuff like this can happen, where you have a one-on-one matchup with Brandon Ayuk on the sideline. And that's a tough matchup to win. Look at how right when this play begins, you see that Garoppolo is going to throw it, and Darius Williams isn't even playing horrible coverage right here. In fact, this is going to be one of Garoppolo's better throws we've seen. Look at how, just a beautiful throw right there. Really great throw. Ayuk could have had a touchdown there if his momentum didn't take him out of bounds. That looked like it might have been a touchdown for a second because Williams went for the dive for the ball, just couldn't get there. So really just a great play by Ayuk, and this is kind of puts you in a tough situation if you're the Rams, where a coverage that gives the 49ers some trouble historically, you're struggling with. The Niners were also able to move the ball with stuff like this. So this is the big thing that they've been able to do the first 2 times these two teams played each other this year, and the 49ers are just getting better at it. It's these wide receiver screens where you're such a good blocking team, you're such a physical team where everyone can block, and Deebo Samuel is so good with the ball. It makes sense that this stuff can work, especially against the Rams, right? Because this is one of those plays that can beat the Rams, and it's kind of why I predicted the 49ers to win this football game, because they do match up well, and because the whole philosophy of the 49ers is to move the ball methodically down the field, and the whole philosophy of the Rams is force them to move the ball methodically down the field. It just kind of it's a puzzle piece. Anyways, watch how when Garoppolo takes the snap and hits Deebo Samuel, you see some really good blocking right off the bat, which allows Deebo Samuel, allows the 49ers to gain a little bit, do what you typically expect to do on these types of plays. But this is where Deebo Samuel comes in, because you see there's a couple of Rams who are going to create some contact, but that contact does not knock Samuel down, and he stays up at a top speed the whole time. That's an absurd play by Deebo Samuel. He does it all the time, so it looks simple for him, but that's just what Deebo Samuel can do. He's a fantastic talent, and he continues to do stuff like this. And also a good chunk of it was just plays like this, kind of more simple stuff, but when the Rams are playing zone, you have ways you can beat it, where what's going to happen is it's a pretty simple zone buster right here. Watch how it works. Garoppolo takes the snap, and with 2 49ers players kind of running underneath, and there's only 2 Rams players who are on that side of the field who are covering the middle of the field, they're both naturally going to kind of cut in because you don't want to just give up a free first down here. But in doing so, this leaves Brandon Ayuk, who is going to be open further deep, I mean, he's by himself. Watch Garoppolo time this well, and he hits Ayuk, and you're able to get a big chunk play. So again, they're just able to do stuff like this, and that's how the 49ers were able to move the ball the way that they were able to do in this one. It's not that every play was working, of course, but when plays were working, it tended to be stuff like that. That's the most of it. But of course, you knew the Rams weren't going to go down without a fight, and they really, I mean, they fought back immediately after they went down 10. And a lot of what they were doing was stuff like this. It's just these zone busters, right? Where this play, in fact, this exact play, they got a couple of big chunk plays where you're having your number one receiver, so the guy closest to the sideline running a deep route, and another guy running an out route past the first down. That's what you're doing here. Look at how right when this play begins, so you see that, you know, against this type of coverage, you're going to see that the player who's in charge of covering over the middle doesn't do a good enough job of getting back over to cover Kupp here. As you see, you're going to get a throw and pick up the first down here to Cooper Kupp. So little things like that can definitely be a great way to move the ball down the field. That's what they were doing, and this is the best way to beat this 49ers defense is with stuff like this. Now, we got to talk about the dropped interception. The broadcast was really talking a lot about it, but still, I mean, it was a big play. I mean, you have to make that interception. You just do. That's a tough drop there because you get that, you just gave away the ball, but you can at least try to get the, you get the ball back immediately if nothing else, and potentially have room to run down the field. Looking over at this angle, I looked at his eyes to see if he was maybe looking downfield before catching the ball. I don't think he did. I think he just dropped it. And part of me wondering is just, is it because it was thrown right at him? You know, you have time to think about those ones, and those ones can sometimes be the toughest. It's similar to how in baseball, the old expression is the hardest ones to catch are the ones hit right at you because you have time to think about it and things can go wrong. I think that's just what happened there, and there's a reason why, again, as another old expression goes, if you could catch, you'd be a wide receiver. That's not exactly how it works, but there is some truth to it. And going back to the very next play now that would help set up the field goal, it's going to literally be the same play that I showed you last time on the same side of the field and everything. They're going a different direction now, but same concept. Look at how this time, right when this play begins, so the first time it was the out route that they were having trouble with. Now it's going to be the go route that just nobody picks up on this play. And you got to be better at this stuff. You got to be more prepared. These aren't difficult concepts you're going up against. So really just a, kind of a breakdown by the 49ers, although the flip side is also a, good job by the Rams of recognizing, hey, this is what they're having trouble with. Let's keep doing this until they figure it out. Let's keep doing this stuff. I like it. As you see, Beckham does make the catch. Takes a, questionable hit to say the least there, but holds on to the football. Really good stuff by Odell. Really good stuff by Stafford, and especially really good stuff by Sean McVay. Obviously, this play was just such a huge play. This was what gave them the lead here with 1:46 left. This play with 3:26 left. It's going to be man coverage. It's a cover one blitz, which the Rams just crushed. They're really good at this stuff. They've been great at this all year. Big chunk of it, Cooper Kupp's really hard to cover one-on-one. So that's an element here, and that's why I kind of, again, going back to my pick, part of what I liked about San Francisco is that they wouldn't play this too often, but in a big moment, they're deciding, let's change things up, let's do it here, and they're going to get burned on it because Cooper Kupp's really good. Although in fairness, look at how right when this play begins, you see that right here, Kupp is open, but he's not wide open. I mean, this is not bad coverage by any means, so you're going to need a good throw from Stafford, and quite frankly, this is why you trade 2 first-round picks to upgrade at the quarterback position. Watch how Stafford makes a beautiful throw and they pick up a first down and then some. I'm not saying Jared Goff couldn't have made that throw, just that Stafford makes it more times out of 10 than Goff does. And, Stafford makes that a lot of times out of 10. So good stuff from him. So yeah, listen, a lot of teams can win when they're playing their best football. It takes a special team to win an NFC championship game when not playing your best football. Was this the best football we've seen from the Rams? No, far from it. Part of that is just the 49ers will kind of do that to you. They make things difficult on you, but also just an incredible victory from the Rams, and they are a win away from being Super Bowl champions. Wild stuff. Either Matt Stafford or Joe Burrow will have a Super Bowl ring in 2 weeks from now. So good stuff. What did you guys think of this game? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.